crushing you under my feet. You're a peasant, nothing to me. Turn to dust, my power and lust will hunt you to defeat. Let's swing with it. I change reality when I think. To the brink of your soul, I own it all. I'm a fiend. I'm the king of the universe. Now I'm knocking you through the dirt. Put a stop to you now. It hurts. Bow down or it will get worse. I'm the king. Battle for the universe, let's get striking. Feel the power and the force of the mightiest fighting. Energy blast, hit fast, top beams like lightning. Who can win, a new god or the hands of a titan? I'm the king. I'm the king. Yeah, heart and pride crash like when stars collide. Feel it all inside, I'm ready for your soul's demise. I'm the king. I'm the king. I'm the king. I'm the king. Let's get it on, I'm here, don't give me love, just fear. Since I made my premiere, got the universe at my will. My power's making you kneel, cause you ain't ready to brawl. I got death's phone number and I'm making a call. I'll walk through portals, step on the borders of time and space. You're never stopping this. King of apocalypse, turn planets into slaves. Better give me respect. I bring sparks and death battles, the Omega effect. It'll cost you a life to battle me. Settle your debt. I took lives to get to the throne. I never regret. Heads roll when I step in. Give me your neck. No one can stand or bring power up in your knees. I hold in my hand a gauntlet full of power, infinity stones. I break bones in my zone, your divinity's gone. I'm the greatest. With the snap of my fingers, I change populations. Better run from this eternal, just stop debating. I battle everybody, challenge the best, even Odin, and crush Avengers like they're rodents. Battle for the universe, let's get striking. Feel the power and the force of the mightiest fight. Energy blast, hit fast, eye beams like lightning. Who can win, a new god or the hands of a titan? I'm the king. I'm the king. Yeah, heart and pride crash like when stars collide. Feel it all inside, I'm ready for your soul's demise. I'm the king. I'm the king. I'm the king, yeah. I'm the king, yeah. War inside, I'm full of pride. I'm about to rise, make you vanish like a planet. Just go ahead and die, yeah. War inside, I'm full of pride. I'm about to rise, make you vanish like a planet. Just go ahead and die, yeah. War inside, I'm full of pride. I'm about to rise, make you vanish like a planet. Just go ahead and die.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to, I almost said the Nebula Theater, to the Fan Battle Cast, where we talk about the matchups y'all pitch to us. Today, we're going to talk about a fun matchup, a very racing-themed matchup, but not a race. It will be Jet the Hawk versus Nitros Oxide, Sonic versus Crash Bandicoot. Today, with me, I am your host, as per usual. I am Santi Sherm. With us today, we have, representing Nitros Oxide, we have Plime. Say hi.
Hey. Second time debating this year, babe. Third time debating this year. What the hell am I talking about?
Yes. We also have the third once a month. That's the rate so far.
That's what I'm aiming for.
The lovely jury member, you know him, you love him. We have Allheart. Say hi.
Hey, I think this is like the fourth or fifth cast at this point that I've jumped into at the last minute.
They didn't need to know that. And and representing Jet the Hawk, we have Lockdown. Say hi.
Hello. Technical difficulties almost made it to where I couldn't be here, but here I am anyhow.
The technical difficulties being that you slept in, but we can move on. So
well,
we have
also my okay. Well, I'll be honest with that one, yes, but also I can't. Originally, I was going to be the host for this one. However, my icon also doesn't show up where all you lovely people can see it. So, yeah we had to switch that up.
Also, apparently, Pristine Dog was worried we were gonna say it's a racist matchup. Have people said Nitros versus Jet is a racist matchup?
No, you said I thought it too. I thought it
I heard
too.
it.
When you were like, "This isn't a battle. This isn't a race." I'm just like, "Oh, he's not gonna say it." Damn.
Oh,
They race in. Well, Jet doesn't have a car, but they're in racing video games.
It sounded like that's where you were going.
Jet has raced against cars at least.
Damn that y'all. I think that says more about y'all than me personally.
Maybe.
But anyway, are we gonna just jump right into the fight?
yeah.
Yeah, we have the. Do we have the animation ready? Like, we can jump into the fight. No, I'm kidding.
All right, who wants to give their 60 seconds first?
Okay, can I do mine first because Nitros Oxide? No, it's not. No, I'll go second.
Oh, all right.
All right, I guess Flyme Volum told you to go first.
Evidently. Okay, just.
Oh,
give me-
going by the titles in the.
Oh, okay. I see. All right.
Because no dissing Nitrous Oxide, but Jed is the more iconic character of the two. Which is funny because he's like the 17th iconic Sonic character.
All right.
Whenever you're
Okay.
ready, I'll throw the timer on.
All right. Jet the Hawk. He may be cocky. He may not value his teammates sometimes, but when it comes down to it, he can get the job done. He, even on just his hoverboard, is able to do a load of impressive things. And as shown in Sonic Red Zero Gravity, is able to adapt to things very quickly. And because he's in a racing game, he's going to have plenty of items that will be able to help him out through this fight. Get the Hawk all the way. Got you on the jet stream.
Who is Jet?
He's a
He's
great
a hawk.
hawk who races.
All right.
Apologies. I didn't know how to describe him. He's just kind of a cocky asshole, low-key.
He's kind of like one of the rivals of Sonic in the racing games, right?
That
he's
is
a rival. Yeah, I probably should
no.
look that up.
God damn.
That's louder than it used to be.
I'm turning that audio down on my end. Jesus.
Ah, yes, yes. Explain what Jet could do and not who Jet is.
I want to say, Crossworlds definitely helped you.
I would
In terms
argue
of the
so,
item.
yes.
Help them lose more gracefully, maybe.
All right, before you
Yeah.
start my 60 seconds, can you pull up the image called 60 seconds for me and then start it?
Oh. Oh my.
This is we don't usually have an image at the same time.
All right.
Hang on.
Rapidly rearrange real quick.
That's fine. That's perfect. Don't fuck it up. All right, we're good.
Okay.
All right. Explain. I'm gonna throw you on your 60 seconds.
All right. So if anyone who doesn't know, this is nitrous oxide, aka I believe it's N2O. I could be wrong about that. But it's typically a gas used when you see it more commercially, it can be used in engines of a car and stuff like that for rocket propellants and stuff. But it's also a drug used for medicinal purposes. A lot of people hear it's used in laughing gas, right? And think about how important this is. Not only is he going to use his own name to outspeed and fuck up Jet the Hawk, but after he fucks up Jet the Hawk, he's also going to need nitrous oxide to heal himself so he doesn't fucking die. So in both ways, he needs the name of my combatant just to even exist in this fight, all right? And on top of that, that's it. Fuck it. If I have the Wikipedia up for nitrous oxide, I would just scroll through it.
That is awesome.
So fun
Also-
fact, because you turn it down on your end, you also turn it down on my end because you're one of the permission people. So
Hey, good. I
yeah.
didn't want to
So I'm gonna throw a poll up in the chat. Can Jet defeat the concept of nitrous oxide?
Fun fact, his board runs on air, apparently. I don't know what air is, but it runs
Yeah.
on it.
They're called air gear, so yeah.
All right, but who
That makes sense.
who is the we know about Warrior. We know about Jet the character, but who is Jet the man? Wait, I'm Nitrous. Nitrous, tell us about Nitrous.
Nitrous Oxide is an alien from a kingdom ran by a guy named Vila, or Vilo, sorry. He shows up to Earth one day and says, "Hey, fuck y'all! I'm faster than all of you, and I'm gonna race you all. And if I win, I'm gonna turn your entire planet into a space parking lot." Um, I really wanted it to be, when I was researching, that he would destroy the planet, but I guess we can't get what we want. All right.
Dang.
So that's essentially his. Why'd you? Oh, the concept of nitrous ox.
Yeah.
So it's the first game is just racing and then beating him, and he's like, "Haha! By the way, fuck you! Get the relics, asshole!" And then you get the relics. He's like, "Fine, I guess I'll leave then." Switch over to Crash Nitro Kart. He's kind of barely in the game. He's in the game, but like not a lot. It's based on his boss Vilo, and they own their own set of planets, which is kind of like just a ripoff of Earth, or their solar system. Like instead of Earth, it's Terra, which, yeah. And he's just one of the boss races in that, and you beat him, and then that's it. He does not show up in the third racing game, so I can't include that. And then in Crash 4, It's About Time, he actually shows up again. There's some thing I want to argue for later involving that game. But can you full screen me real quick? Sure.
Sure.
Just want to be clear that he doesn't show up in this game. He doesn't show up in this game. He doesn't show up in this game. Don't let the motorcycle fool you. He shows up in this game. Now, on the other hand, you're not going to find him in these games, right? He's not going to be there. You're not even going to find him in this game or this game. He's not there either. But this game, peek in this mindset, yeah, you got it. And then you get to, fucking like Insane Trilogy. He's not there. He ain't there. But then you get to these. And that's when you get, like, he's in. Short story is every single Crash game that's peak Nitrous Oxide appears in. And I just want to say, those two things are related. If there's a Crash game and Nitrous isn't there, it just can't be peak. That was my excuse to show my Crash Bandicoot collection.
I think you like Crash Bandicoot.
A little bit.
Respectable.
Perhaps.
Please tell me the concept of Nitrous Oxide is winning. I can't.
I don't know. I'm making sure that I'm not voting, so it is biased.
It is very
Alright.
close.
It's currently a tide pool.
Where do we want to start?
50-50.
Wow, 50-50.
Hell yeah.
Well,
How can we have 8 votes and... Oh, no. Never mind. We have 8 watchers now.
All right, so I guess we could just start with, like, this is a race fight. So it would be like they're on... It'd almost be like a death race situation where I guess they're participating in a race, but they're also trying to kill each other. That's like the premise.
That's how I would picture it, and I think that's fun.
Okay, so I guess we would imagine, like, let's just put it on neutral territory. Let's put it on, like, Coconut Mall from Rainbow Road, yeah.
Rainbow Road.
And
Why not use any of the battle maps? What the fuck?
That's a fair point. But the point is that it's supposed to be a race. Don't use a battle map because then there's no finish line.
Well, don't they, like, manipulate the tracks they're on? So I imagine, like, that'd be easier if they were on, like, an actual track as opposed to just a big parking lot.
I don't think they manipulate the tracks they're on.
Well, they use them to their advantage at the very least because they're...
Oh, that's true.
We'll put it on Rainbow Road, and we'll put it on the one from the 3DS with, like, the rolling moon you have to dodge, because that's the best Rainbow Road. And, so...
I'm just saying, you put Nitrous Oxide on the Rainbow Road from N64, he's hitting that skip. I'm just saying that right now.
Valid.
Ain't no doubt.
All right, so
well,
we're on...
I'm just flying.
All right, so we're on. We've chosen our track, and are these driving some Toyotas, some Nissan, some Hondas? What are these guys?
Nope.
What do these guys got to work with?
Jet's gonna be riding the J type. Extreme Gear.
What's the J stand for?
Jet.
I don't know why I was hoping for something else.
As far as I am aware, the J type extreme gear just stands for jet. I didn't look too far into it, but it's green and it's his. So I assume jet J type jet type.
That all tracks. So he's on a
Yeah.
hoverboard of some sort.
Yes.
Is it just a fast hoverboard? Does it have anything cool or?
I suppose I could like bring up the little upgrades it has via whatchamacallit, zero gravity. It's nothing too big, it's just a little bit of stuff. Where is it? Here it is. Has some nice little upgrades you can get with rings, which is something that you would also be able to get from items. He can increase his speed. He can grind on grind areas, which I don't think would be on Rainbow Road, but you know. And he can increase his GP gauge, which we'll go into later, but that is pretty important.
So are these things that happen like before the fight, or do you collect rings during the race and upgrade these mid-race?
It would be mid-race.
Okay.
Okay.
But so just by itself, it's more or less just like a really fast hoverboard?
Pretty much. Again, it's something that can get faster with rings, which it could do at any point. It can't be taken away.
All right. So Jet's on his hoverboard. What is Nitrous Oxide bringing to his racing debut? Not his debut.
Can you bring up the image titled Nitrous Oxide?
The man himself.
So also, I'm not what the person said in the chat is Brazilian. FGTS is a Brazilian thing. I don't know too much Brazilian. Apologies. I know more Spanish. So I don't know what she said. So this is his little hoverboard. Nitrous Oxide is notoriously there isn't much specifically special to it, except a few things. One, he doesn't need to follow the rules of a race. So whenever you race him within Crash Team Racing, he speeds off before the timer is even set. And secondly, he doesn't have an item cap, or he doesn't need to pick up items. In his boss fight, he continuously throws nitrous boxes, TNT boxes, bombs, and the such. He's not restricted down to having to grab one and throw them. Now, it's just a normal hover car. It races like any other racer, but I thought of a really fun interaction for this fight specifically.
All right.
So the way these races work in Sonic Riders is that there's an electric barrier right in the front, and you have to run up to the barrier when the timer hits 1. Nitrous Oxide would naturally cheat, meaning that he would hit that barrier before it hit 1, electrocute himself, and Jet would naturally get the first advantage. I'm not arguing that in terms of a death battle. I just think that's pretty funny.
That would
That
be
is funny,
hilarious to see.
That's
Like,
great.
he's in a new type of race, and he's just like he's trying to cheat, but he's just outside of his zone.
I am noticing that neither of these guys are in vehicles with tires. If they were on a Rainbow Road, would they even fall off, or would they just like float?
They
so
could look,
both
you
the
just fly
track?
around.
So Jet's vehicle is constricted to the ground, while Nitrous's is not. Jet has to do tricks on walls and stuff to elevate himself, and only very few times that he is in the air, you see Jet propelling himself, like using momentum to get in there, even in cutscenes. The air gear specifically lets him hover over the ground using air, right? So the higher he is off the ground, the more essential air he would need to be exuding at the bottom of his board. Nitrous Oxide, because of Crash Team Rumble, we see that he actually does fly around in that little race car, and it's in the cutscene from Crash Team Racing as well. So technically, Oxide would have the mobility advantage.
Now, I'm not one of the debaters, so I'm not going to take a super hard stance, but I have watched Snapcube's Sonic Riders dub many times, and I believe I remember a couple of cutscenes where, like, the people on their hoverboards do just, like, fly to something that's like 100 feet in the air. Like, oh, we gotta get there. Let's take our boards and fly there.
Yeah, I'd note zero gravity specifically when it comes to
Oh,
that.
zero gravity, yes, but what I'm saying is like he can't fly traditionally. You're not going to see them in the clouds, fucking like flying with his board. He needs to exude more air to get higher, so he can get higher, but he's not going to be flying around like the atmosphere like nitrous oxide can.
So they can both fly, but nitrous is just much more reliably and good flight.
Yes.
Okay, that makes sense. All right, so does this UFO looking hover car have anything special to it, or by itself without any items is more or less just a flying hover car?
His hoverboard doesn't need items; it just has them.
Okay.
I don't know if it's like a conjure thing or whatever. I wouldn't say he has every item. He might need to naturally pick up certain items because you only see him use set once in this boss fight. Like I wouldn't argue that he could. We'll get to it in abilities, but I won't argue that he can spam invisibility. You know what I mean?
Okay.
But at least the stuff in his boss fight, he should have a plethora of either created or stored within the cart.
So a lot of bombs is what I remember hearing.
Yeah, bombs, missiles, TNT, and nitro crates. Nitro crates specific. Well, I'll get to it later. Never mind.
So these are the cars they have. What do we want to talk about first? Do we want to talk about who's faster? Do we want to talk about the items they'll have in a fight context? What do we want?
I want to start. I like saving stats for last because I think it makes the initial debate more interesting. So let's start with items.
Items.
All right. So what items? What does Jet have when he's racing? He's got to pick up an item to bong someone in the head. What's he grabbing?
Okay, so there is a number of things. I'm going to start with what is initially in both Riders and Riders Zero G, and then move on from there because Crossworlds, I have 18 images of. So
A lot of images.
Yeah. So we'll start with Riders. So we have Air, which is only applicable in the original Riders, to my knowledge, which is like a fuel source. Explosion, which is a bomb. High Speed, which increases speed. Invincible Barrier, you know. Magnet Barrier, which attracts rings, and then rings themselves.
Okay. What does he use rings for?
For purchasing the upgrades that we saw earlier and just natural defenses during the race. Like, you won't die if you don't have rings, but it does, like, slow you down.
So it does work like normal Sonic rings where you get hit and the rings pop out and you're mostly fine.
Yeah.
Okay. Does the magnetic barrier ever attract anything besides rings?
No, it doesn't, like, attract the stage or anything, because most of them are made out of metal.
Okay. Besides that, everything else seems fairly self-explanatory.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
Somebody said I still don't know about Jet being limited on the ground. Specifically, how the air system works is that to do different things, like Tails flying with his board, it consumes air, which is one of the items he said was that you need like air canisters, right, to refill your air. So the higher you're going off the ground, the more air is being exhumed, and meaning that you need items to replenish it if you want to keep going, or you run out of air and the board kind of just falls, like what happens in gameplay.
However, as of Zero G, that is no longer necessary.
All right.
Is it?
Look, there's no air.
Yeah, but that's because it was going through zero, whatever.
Well, then if they
Free Riders brings it right back. So
okay, you've got a point, but the fact is there are instances in which they don't need the air.
So
And also, if they have no, by the way, for the gravity points thing, most of this is the same, besides the attack, in which case Jit just runs on the ground and smacks you with his dual fans, which I think is pretty funny.
Okay. Is dual
But,
fans?
Yeah, he has these dual, like, fan thingies. I'll show more of it a little bit later.
Like the Kyoshi Warriors from Avatar?
Potentially, I think, maybe. They're, like, green and stuff, and it's pretty cool. Again,
right.
they will be showed off a little later with some other scans.
I didn't know
Yeah.
fans was his weapon. That's fun.
Yes, but he also just can smack you with them, or you can.
yeah, it's so
it
fucking cool. He just like spins your ass with the fan.
Yeah, I don't have videos or anything of it, but it is pretty damn funny. But yeah, so that's what the attack thing does. But then there's also gravity points, which is only applicable to 0G when they have the arcs of the cosmos, which are these things that manipulate gravity, which I feel like would be fair to give the Jet, like his arc of the cosmos.
If you give him that, then technically gravity doesn't work like that in the game, but I would probably say if you were to give him the Arc of the Cosmos, then he wouldn't need to worry about the air restriction, because that's what's not giving him that restriction, essentially.
I didn't even think about him having the Arc of the Cosmos. That's interesting.
But yeah, like at most that allows him to flub up gravity for him and everyone around him, or things around him. I'm not sure if it affects the racers in gameplay.
It doesn't affect other racers, but it does affect other objects.
Okay.
So I will say, Alfie Mations has a suggestion for us. We just dropped this whole debate right now, and we switched to debating Fang the Sniper versus Ding Dongle instead.
Which Dingo Dial? Because that's two different debates. Are we talking alternate universe Dingo Dial or Dingo Dial from the main series?
Fang just did classic stuff. I could argue for classic potentially winning, at least in speed, but I ain't got nothing else.
That's funny. All right.
Yeah, because again, Fang only shows up in Superstars and Fighters canonically, to my knowledge. Oh, and Triple Trouble, but like, you know, that's Triple Trouble.
Isn't he like one of the main guys in Superstars?
That's what I was saying.
He is
recurring
mini boss, I believe. What does Nitros have in terms of arsenal?
Oh, I never went over the Crossworld stuff, but that's fine.
Yeah, have him finish and then I'll go.
Yeah, let me see. Is there anything of note? Like, most of it is just, okay, so there's like, okay, what does... Oh! I forgot about this. Hold on, is it the... I'm pretty sure it's this one. Let me just make sure. Magnet. Placing road hazard that draws in machines around it. Machines being other players.
Nitros is in a very metal-looking cover thing.
But it's space metal, so it's not the same.
Yeah, I'll just try to cycle through these real quick. Spiked iron ball.
That looks straight out of Mario.
It does. Look like spiked ball.
It does. It does. I will fully admit that. Okay, 3.
It says it rebounds. Is that like the equivalent of the green shell? Because I was reading it looked like it said it was.
Yeah, no. It's like a mine. It just sits there, to my knowledge. I could double check. Yeah. So then defense wisp.
Void.
This one sucks. Yep. So it sucks in rings and item boxes from a distance, negates some attack items and course obstacles. So in essence, it brings things in and can destroy things within a radius.
Okay.
But not like players or anything. It's not an attack thing. And there's shield, which, you know, defense.
Yeah.
And then the tornado, it just spins around them and can do attack stuff and protects you from other things.
Now the Void Wisp does work a little differently and a little more powerfully in the normal games. If we were to like look at the lore of this, would this imply that Jet has access to how this Void Wisp normally works?
You could argue it, but I wasn't, for the sake of that's not how it works for when Jet uses it, if that makes sense.
Okay.
Does anyone else other than Sonic ever transform with the wisps?
In the mobile game, basically everyone has one or two wisps they can utilize.
Okay.
Also, everyone in Crossworlds can drill.
Oh, like just straight up transform? Because this whip doesn't sound like it transforms you.
Not to my knowledge. I haven't played Crossworlds myself, but I've looked at like stuff, and it didn't seem like it. I could be mistaken, however. Someone with more knowledge than I could probably correct me. There's also a very high possibility that I accidentally repeat images. I did not. Wait. It drops a weight on whoever's in first and second place. I do like the idea of this, in essence, being Jet tries to do it on Nitros specifically, but it also drops on himself.
Because they're the only two racers?
Yes.
That's funny.
Yep. Okay.
As soon as he stops getting squished, he's like, worth it.
Yeah. Slime. It's a blooper, basically. And they have to yeah, they also have to rotate their like steering thing to try to get it off of their screen.
Oh, does that actually mean you have to like drive badly for a couple seconds?
Again, I should have looked more into these. I only looked at like a note few items. I didn't get around to slime, so I'm not 100% sure. But it can be evaded since it comes out of a warp ring.
Oh, okay.
Like, so if you have a boost on hand, then you could dodge it. Now this one is kind of just a blue shell.
That's fucking amazing. So I've never played Cross World, but I fucking love that King Boom Boo. Is he sporting a cool pair of fucking sunglasses right
He
there?
is sporting a cool pair of sunglasses.
Hell yeah.
Best way. Best way.
I've got
But
some
yeah,
bad
he-
news.
I think you mean best girl. No, I'm kidding.
I've got some bad news. I'm gonna do something very unprofessional. I have to
Oh,
go to the
no.
bathroom.
Oh.
I'll keep my headphones on, so we just keep going.
Okay. Yeah,
Oh
thankfully
no,
I've got a...
his mic connected to his headphones. We're hearing everything. No.
Oh no!
Oh no!
Disgrace.
At the very least, I still have a lot of items to go through.
Oh my goodness.
Bomb. So we both have bombs, you and I. Also, this one is a wisp bomb. So I have
What?
multiple bombs, which I think is funny. Again, trying to be quick. I remember.
Oh, okay. And it almost works exactly the same as well.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. Please tell me this is the next one. Oh, okay. This is a big one. It slices
J-Leg said Sega getting sued. Just wait till you hear my items.
Oh my god.
Oh boy. Anyways, but yeah. So I feel like this is a big one. Have the Crash Team people, the racers, ever had to deal with their car being sliced in half?
Surprisingly, yes.
Okay, fair enough. At the very least, it would inconvenience him for a moment.
He
Yeah,
has not had his car sliced in half, but he does have multiple cars, so maybe that'll help.
I don't know why, but that.
He's just like, oh, this one got sliced in half. Gotta move on to the next one.
Ugh.
So yeah, punches. These are the shells. There's the red variants as well, which I think will be the next page. So I'm gonna try to skip over it. So I think we should be here. Rings. A lot of them.
Now, how do rings work within the context of the game? Just curious.
So in Crossworlds, it seems like it's just kind of a shoot. Crossworlds, it seems like it's more of like the health mechanic thing again. Like it's different because Riders and Crossworlds are fundamentally different games. Crossworlds is based on like the Sega and All Stars style. Riders is Riders. So
J-Leg said, I thought Jet hates cheating in a race. That's true. He'd rather beat you with a skill rather than anything. So he would hate Oxide cheating.
Yes, he would do everything in his power to stop Oxide from being
Adds to the dynamic.
Yes,
I'm more convinced.
I love that actually. That is so cool. But yeah, I should have looked more into Crossworlds if I'll be honest. But it didn't seem like rings function too differently. Like it takes certain kits for the rings to do anything special, from what I can gather.
Does it like upgrade their base weapons, or is it like a speed kind of? Well, it says
It
boost right
only
there, so
affects
I'm gonna
speed.
assume it's speed. Yeah, because you can get hit in Crossworlds with 0 rings and you're alive. I wouldn't give Jet
Right.
the mechanic of no rings means he's dead. You know what I mean?
Right, yeah, that's never shown in any of the racing games. But again,
Yeah.
it only affects speed if you have certain kits on. As far as I'm aware. Like when it comes to crossworlds specifically.
Do they
Yeah.
function like the way Mario coins do in like Mario Kart?
That's what I'm saying. Like
Okay, I want to make sure I was getting that right.
I'm saying like it doesn't affect their speed. Like if they lose rings, they slow down or whatever. To my knowledge, it seems like rings are. Give me one moment. I'll double check myself. I'll bring up this unless it. Please don't be the same thing. Oh yeah, this.
Oh,
Oh.
Joe.
So maybe it does affect speed, but certain kits can affect the speed more.
Okay.
But it's not like they're at like a severe disadvantage if they lose all of them.
Okay.
Because otherwise getting hit would end the race. Oh yeah. Welcome to Mega Mushroom. Just crush everything it comes into contact with.
Hell yeah.
Which I think is funny, but also gives the credence of they need to be on the ground. Same with the attack thing. Well, actually, no. I could debate for the attack working in the air, but we'll get to that. We're just showing up
Finally,
items
some
while Sherman's
tires.
gone. Oh, whoops.
Both Nitros and Jet, even though they have like floating vehicles, still get harmed by things that are just sitting on the ground, even if they should hover over it. So I think it should probably still work either way.
Yay. Okay. Yeah, I actually showed the same drill. It's the bullet bill, but it's a wisp. So you could argue for wisp things working. But I love
Yay.
the idea of Jet being behind. He's like praying for a good pull, gets the drill and just zooms on past. And just fucks up Nitrous on the way.
That's the killing blow.
I don't know if it's the killing blow, but I do like it. It's funny. Welcome back, Sherm. We're almost done.
The debate's
Laser.
nearly over.
A lot of
Almost the whole
wisps.
cast.
Yeah, so we have laser. It does laser things. Sometimes diamonds appear above the head of the dudes, and you can bounce between them. And then the last one should be the boosts. So if I get to triple boost, then it's just the boost. Yep, boost. Triple boosts are somewhat rare, but they do happen. King boost is able to give a much bigger boost.
Which wisp is that?
This is the boost wisp. This is the cyan wisp, I believe.
Cyan.
It's whatever Yacker is.
Right.
So there's like the normal boost guys, and then there's the king, who gives a bigger boost.
I didn't know the wisps had a monarchy.
I didn't either. Yeah, so that should be all of the items now.
My turn.
Yes.
So we're gonna kind of do this in a little bit of quick succession. Can you bring up items 1? We'll do 1 through 5 first.
All right, I'll have it loaded up for whenever you want me to put the next one up.
So these I have these the next two side by side. When in Crash Team Racing Nitro Field, when you get 10 Wumper Fruits, I think it's 10 Wumper Fruits, your item upgrades to a stronger variant, right? I'm not going to show the stronger variant of every single one because that's kind of just a waste of time. But the shield right here is a shield that can block any single attack, including like big ass lasers or lightning, whatever. It'll hit it. But on top of that, you can fire it out like a projectile. So if they won't hit you because you have the shield up, they don't want to waste an item, and then they get in front of you, you can shoot that shield at them, and it'll harm them. Go to 2.
That's some creative items. I like that.
So Oxide has both. The Nitro is an upgrade to the TNT. In Crash Bandicoot, TNT, when you hit it, it counts down 3, 2, 1, explodes. In the racing games, it'll fly onto your head and then count down to 3, 2, 1, and then explode. The Nitro it just explodes. Don't touch it. You'll get fucked. And in the Crash Bandicoot series, this fucking... we can get into the scaling of how strong Crash is later. Because Oxide should scale. But Nitro completely disintegrates people and objects. It like to nothing. Like not even dust is left of Crash if he touches it without Uka Uka protecting him.
Oh, that's not disintegration. That's vaporization if there's
Yeah.
no dust.
Oh my.
Vaporization.
That's pretty good. That's pretty strong.
Should go 3. Missile can be upgraded to 3 missiles. If you're in front, they can work like a red shell. It tracks you. 4. This is also not every item. This is just the ones I thought would be important to a death fight. This is, I don't know why it's eyes, but it's invisibility. So it turns you completely invisible in a battle or race. I don't know if Jet can scan or sense people who are invisible, but this could give Oxide a big advantage to get a sneaker counterattack. And then go, instead of going to 5, can you bring up Ice Mine? Sorry if these images kind of suck. That's why I kept them separate. The Ice Mine is something he can drop behind him, and if you hit it, you get frozen. It has an upgrade variant that freezes you for longer. Again, just another way to open up Jet to a deadly attack. Can you go Electric Shield?
Jet is a bird, so he might be weak to ice.
Hell yeah.
Did you want me to bring up Electric Shield?
Electric Shield, yep.
Birds
So
are
it's
also weak to electricity, if I remember correctly.
So Electric Shield it's not actually like a shield of electricity. It is similar to the Ice Mine, except if you hit it, you get blasted with electricity. And again, upgraded variant is stronger. I'll keep that for later. Second last one I'll bring up is Smiley Missile.
Sorry, I couldn't find it for a second.
You're okay. This is essentially what the drill is for Jet. Could you imagine the finishing, if Jet wins, the finishing blow is guided missile Oxide versus drill Jet, and they collide, and the fucking missile gets hollowed out by the drill, and Oxide is just showing blood. Oh, that's fucking
It's
disgusting.
like the killing blow in Green Arrow versus Hawkeye when one arrow goes through the other arrow.
Except they are the arrows.
Except they are the arrows.
I love it, actually. That's awesome.
Yeah, and you can have it go either way, which I think is hilarious.
But if these are like set to the track, they could never run into each other. They would just be going in the same direction.
Each other on the finish line.
The finish line is each other's heart as they try to pierce each other.
The flag comes out of whoever dies first.
It's Flash versus Quicksilver again.
Yeah, one of them finishes the race and just 180s real quick.
And then last, I'll actually do 2 more. Can you do items 5 now? So this is a little complicated to explain. It changes in every game, but the newest iteration of this is this. This is the portal from Crash Bandicoot 3 that warps space and time. In the game, it works like a blue shell. It'll track you down and fuck you up. You're essentially getting ripped apart by a space-time bubble. What has me curious is how this would interact with the black hole void. A tear apart of space and time versus a black hole.
So given the fact that it's like a racing item, you could argue that since I have items that are able to block other items that are able to affect the characters that they do, I could block this, but given that it's a rift in space and time,
So
I don't know, Chief.
The shields in Crash, and especially this next image, can you put a velo mask? So the shields in Crash can block it, I believe. I actually don't know. I would assume you can. And this is Velo Mask, definitely. This is probably on par with his strongest argument. I'm barely on the freaking camera. I'm like fucking falling. Velo Mask works like Aku Aku and Uka Uka. It is a sentient mask that will make you invincible for a brief period of time within the race. Now, I don't know what else. There is no lore for this. Absolutely none. We don't. It shows up in Nitro Kart and the Nitro Fueled. but we don't. It's not like we don't see it as a sentient thing. So I'm not going to say it can do the same things that Uka and Aku can do, but we at least know that the invincibility aspect of Uka and Aku works with this mask as well. So no matter what you throw at him, if he has this mask around, it will not harm him.
I guess we could imply if Nitrous Oxide is an alien, then similar to how there are masks on Crash's world, there just must be masks on other worlds, and masks are an interplanetary concept. An extraplanetary concept, actually.
I'll say that I wouldn't scale him to statements of like the planet getting destroyed if Uka and Aku fight. You know what I mean?
I mean, it would make a good argument. It would be helpful.
I don't need it.
All right.
And then next, the last one I'll throw up for now is Pull Up Laser, the one I forgot to send archive last night.
I haven't seen this one yet.
So this, for all intents and purposes, this is a laser reflecting light. It burns what it touches and stuff like that. This is, I will argue that this is a light laser. You can't see it in the image because of Crash Team Rumbles. I don't know if any of you have played this game, but the camera angle in the game is always pointed down. But this laser is coming out of Nitrous Oxide ship. So the little thing he's flying around, he has just a laser that he can shoot. And we could get into scaling whenever, but this is light speed. So I can argue that even if Jet had a speed advantage, that Nitrous had an attack that could probably hit him.
Okay.
Alright.
Is that the long and short of all the gear Nitrous is bringing to the table?
Yeah. Also, Nitrous Oxide, just based on the controls of the game, Nitrous Oxide is better to play as, so he has more maneuverability. Get fucked. Sonic Riders 1 control scheme. Anyway,
I probably can't argue with that. I
point.
never played the original Riders.
the original Riders is fantastic. It just doesn't tell you how to play it. So if you're a kid and you're playing it, you're going to get really frustrated really fast. It's the only game I've ever played where I'm like, why is there no tutorial?
Yeah, that's probably true, and I feel like it's the same way with Zero Gravity, because I remember trying to pick it back up and being like, oh my god, how the fuck do I play this?
Everyone disses the tutorial until they don't have it anymore.
Which one was the one that was on the Wii that you had to buy the board for?
Free Riders.
Yeah, I owned that game, and I didn't own the board, so I just couldn't play it.
No,
Free Riders was
that wasn't
Connect.
Free Riders. That's Connect. I don't know what one on the Wii needs a board.
I don't think anything on the Wii needed a board.
I swear it
Like
was
the
on
Wii Fit board for Wii Fit?
I swear it was like that. Maybe I'm misremembering a little bit, but I know I had a Sonic game that I needed something else for.
The only thing I could think of is one of the Tony Hawk games had like a skateboard that you had to like pair with the game to play, but I don't remember anything other than
I don't
that.
remember any Sonic games needing anything like that, especially Sonic Riders games. Because the only thing they had was Free Riders, which is Connect, which is Xbox.
I think that might have been it.
Oh, the mask also has telekinesis. If you fall off the stage, the mask brings you back to the stage.
Oh.
Can the mask
I forgot about that.
telekinesis
How
someone off the stage?
invisible does it make him?
How invisible does it make him? Nothing can hurt you.
I have that too, in all fairness.
The
variants of it.
If you compare it to the Aku Aku and Uka Uka mask, even things like the disintegrating Nitros just become like nothing. You just walk through it like it's a wall, or like, well, not a wall because you don't walk through walls. You walk through it like air. Let's say that. So I'd probably compare it to that.
So does it make you like intangible?
Not intangible, but like when you walk it, there's no resistance. Like it just boom gone, and you just keep going.
Oh, so you just
Like
become
you don't
extremely
even stutter. You know what I mean? Like it's like it wasn't there in the first place.
Okay.
Same with any other enemy you hit. You can't get it in boss fights, so I don't know how it would exactly work there. But
Okay, so I just want to repeat. In the racing games, do the nitro crates do the "oh, you're dead now" disintegrate thing in the racing games, or is
No.
it just a bigger explosion?
it's so the red crate is just it'll hit your head. It'll count down to 3, 2, 1. If you hop enough, because there's a hopping mechanic in the game when you drift, if you hop enough, you can knock the TNT off. Or if you, I think if you crash into another person, you can put it on their head instead. I could be wrong with that one.
We have like a
Nitro is
thundercloud interaction where it's like bam, 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 bam.
Nitro is like none of that. So Nitro is just you hit it and explode, and it really
Okay.
fucks you up in the race compared because there's similar items like Embryo's beakers. That'll do something similar. Like if you run into it, it just fucking hurts. It can kind of also be used as a grenade.
Okay. Just checking.
But
Just checking.
it's like one of the strongest. Don't hit this or you're now from first to 8th place kind of thing.
Okay, valid.
It kind of seems from what I've heard so far that Nitros has the equipment and arsenal advantage. It just kind of sounds like as a boss character, he has a lot more to work with than Jet, who is more of a playable character kind of thing, who just has like. But then again, the playable character does beat the boss at the end of the game. So like, I guess the
Yeah.
question is Jet as competent as Sonic at defeating bosses?
I wouldn't say as competent, but he is able to. He's able to beat bosses that Sonic is also able to beat.
That's fair.
But he's also very like he can be very Knuckles the Echidna, be very fooled, easily tricked. His stubbornness can be used against him. Part of the first game is that fucking Eggman's just manipulating him into reviving Babylon.
Yeah.
I love the scene where he like Eggman gets his like knees and elbows on the desk to like whisper in Jet's ear in the beginning of the game.
Oh,
Is Nitrous Oxide a particularly tricky kind of guy?
It's hard. So Crash Team Racing doesn't really have like a very in-depth story. You essentially he just kind of taunts you throughout the game, tries to piss you off, and then you race him at the end of the game and he cheats a lot, which is why I still argue that like him throwing bombs continuously or nitro crates or TNTs or whatever is a big advantage here because Jet would be restricted to grabbing what he can find and wouldn't have everything on his body at the whole time.
I do like the idea of Jet like realizing, hey, you just have items. What the fuck?
Fucking Nitrous hits him with the TNT. Fucking, he's like ha ha ha, and then the gravity board shows up, and Nitrous's cart just like goes up. Jet hits him with a gravity dash. Fucking TNT goes on Nitrous's head. He's like, not again.
I love that. I love that. Just ready, go.
Every moment of victory is punctuated by a green crate of TNT on his head.
So there is a comic that came out with Nitrous where he was a little bit more on the manipulative side, but first of all, not as manipulative as Eggman. And second of all, the bigger advantage he would have over manipulating Jet would be that he would piss Jet off because Jet is very easily pissed off, and that Jet would probably open himself up to mistakes or whatever.
Strategy.
I'd argue that Jet, when angry, is more focused, and I will state that with a comic panel I will be bringing up, well, two.
That's an interesting interaction then. Let's get into the next step. What's the next step?
Well, are we bringing up the comic panel now, or are we saving that for later?
I'd like to do speed.
Well,
all right.
That is all right.
I guess, like, do we want to go into speed first, or do we want to go into, like, Jet's Arc of the Covenant first?
Oh, the Arc of the Cosmos?
Yeah. Like,
I didn't have any particular scans with it, because a lot of it is just, he can be able to flip gravity on its head and fly around temporarily as long as he has gravity points.
Which is that the only thing that gives him? I feel like I remember it being more important.
There is more importance to it later on, and particularly
it's more of a plot thing than.
Yeah, there is also the argument that they could just be able to do the gravity whenever because of the cutscene at the beginning where Sonic's like, "Oh, so this is what it does," and he's like hanging in the air for a lot longer than you would in gameplay. But I'm not going to argue. Oh, he could just flip gravity forever. That feels like kind of weird. Yeah, he's able. He has he's especially adept at it, as shown in one of the cutscenes, since it is like a Babylonian relic, and he is a Babylonian, one of the Babylon rogues, which I forgot to mention.
So it's his culture. It's his rightful heritage.
Something like that.
Does Nitros have a counter to having the gravity flipped on him?
The fact that his cart doesn't abide by gravity. He flies his cart in space to get to Earth in the first place. That's how he gets down there.
Yeah, but I imagine like it would just be kind of like a stutter, probably. Just like
I mean, if
gravity
he's
flips,
not-
and then he's like, oh.
If gravity just, I mean, it wouldn't stop his movement or anything like that because, again, he's not moving his cart by using gravity at all.
So here's the thing: if the hover car is exerting force against gravity to keep him in the air, then if gravity's flipped, suddenly he has both gravity and whatever is pushing him against gravity, and he's just gonna go flying up into the air really fast.
Yeah, real quick. But
it just makes him faster.
No, he'd just be in the air.
But he doesn't need, like, he's not powering through the air with his cart. That's not how it works. He can fly it outside in space when there's no gravity at all. So turning off gravity would just be the same as if he was in space.
Well, I'm pretty sure it like inverts it, maybe, or at least it does bring characters up to a degree.
Well, yeah, because there's nothing holding them to the ground. It's not that it's exerting gravity in the opposite direction. They're just not being held down anymore. The only reason we're held to the ground is because gravity is pushing down because of the core of the Earth. Like, you turn that off, every person is going to start floating. It's why when you're in a zero gravity chamber, you start lifting up.
So it doesn't just make it zero gravity, despite what the title tells you. It manipulates gravity and can bring you up. Like, it doesn't negate gravity. It manipulates it.
Correct, but I'm saying that it wouldn't even matter either way because his car's not abiding.
If the gravity that he is driving in were to reverse, it wouldn't affect him at all.
No, he's not abiding by gravity to move his cart.
He should be, according to how physics works. Like,
right?
The fact that you can fly through space doesn't negate the fact that you are affected by gravity once you enter a space with gravity. You would just like...
Right. I would argue he's adept with it and would just quickly be like, oh, gravity flipped.
You would just compensate for the gravity in that moment. Like, I imagine whatever thrust Nitros is using to move around would just...
Yeah, I'm not saying it's like...
Maybe I'm misunderstanding the argument. I thought you were trying to say that he like
flips gravity and
Nitros
would just be like, oh, gravity got flipped. Let me just switch into reverse mode.
It would be like a temporary thing where it like just launches him away very briefly before it's like, ah, shit, we're doing this now. And then he reverses it again to mess with him again. He's like, ah, shit, not again.
Go back and forth, like flip, 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 flip. Have fun dealing with that.
If that's, I thought you were trying to say it would keep him in the air, like
absolutely
floating.
not.
Like,
no, he would be adept enough to where he could be able to be like, oh, this is happening. All right.
Here's the strategy. Jet uses gravity to make Nitros fly up into the air really high, and then Nitros is now making the hovercraft go against the backwards gravity. So he's actively pushing towards the ground, and once he gets real close to the ground, Jet reverses the gravity again, so he just like slams into the ground full force.
Again, it would just be an inconvenience thing more than anything.
Is Jet smart enough to pull something like that?
I feel like he's devious enough to, at the very least. I wouldn't say he's done it himself, but that's mostly because everyone around him also had Arc of the Cosmos.
Right.
So I think they were immune to it. Since in gameplay, all of them can do the gravity stuff.
I would like to point out we have a new feat for Total in chat. Apparently, his fat ass does not float when there's zero gravity, implying he is large enough to have his own gravitational pull, which is pretty impressive.
Congratulations, Total. You are now a planet.
That's good scaling for Total in the future.
He has his own gravitate. Oh.
That's which whose profile? I forgot whose that is. Is that Tables? No, it's not Tables.
Is that Tables? Fuck. It's oh my god.
Akechi, but I forget whose profile picture that specifically is.
It is Table.
Yeah, I was about to say that seems very Table-esque.
My camera keeps going on the fritz, my bad.
It's all good.
Also, you're outside of what appears to be heaven.
Because I'm about to make Jet ascend is what's gonna happen.
All right.
Jet would love that.
Okay.
So do we want to go into stats now, or do we have anything else you want to talk about?
I don't like besides like okay. There's the little
show me
thing
that comic
of
panel.
I could that will be part of the stats.
Oh, okay.
That is a big thing. But I will bring up kits. I'll bring up notable ones. Okay, kits in Crossworlds, you can only have 6 of them.
Mhm.
Like or 6 slots filled up. And so some of the particular kits, this one I only brought because it's like starts with or increases. The big thing with this is the warp ring. Because it not only lets you start with one, but can also give you one. And the warp rings essentially like bring you to the person in first place and you like crush them as you like go to where they are.
That's great. I didn't send it because I didn't save the image because I was like, it's not a race, but there is an item in Crash that does the exact same thing, brings you to first place.
Nice.
Is it like a boost? Is it like?
It's like a teleport kind of thing.
Yeah, that's what this one does, except it also like fucks up the dude in first.
It specifically lands on the guy in first, which is extra funny. I like that.
Yes. Then there's this one with Inventory Plus, which just lets them have 3 held instead of 2. I don't know how much that helps, but it gives him more. There's also some like random stat increases, but again,
It gives, wait, hold on. It gives him 3 portals.
I mean, it could.
So you're saying Jet is that much of an asshole that he'll get in first, he'll go up a little, wait, hit him again, go up a little, wait, hit him again, and then win the race. That's fucked
I mean,
up.
he could.
If you guys want the moral victory, vote for Oxide because
No. I'm saying he could. I feel like in character that wouldn't be a thing he would do. Although I would say he would probably be the guy to like get 3 weights, spam them all, and then realize, oh wait, I'm the only other guy.
Okay, so here's the new strategy I'd like to introduce to the possibility space. Jet uses the warp ring to land
Ultimate
on top of
charge.
Nitros's car. He grabs Nitros, throws him out of the car, and then just steals Nitros's UFO hover car situation.
Well, then Nitrous, according to Plank, would just grab another car.
Oh yeah, right.
Oh, yeah, also this one-
Jet the Hawk loves his board. I don't think he would ever leave it.
He doesn't.
Yeah,
He
no.
can just hold it under his arm as he's driving the new whip.
Yeah.
He
this
puts
one
it on
isn't-
the he puts it on the bottom of like Oxide spaceship, and he's like, "Yeah, double speed."
Yeah, the only thing I wanted to bring up here was ultimate charge because it's a level of boost above like what's normally possible. That's all with that. And then there's these. And the thing I wanted to note was ring gain boost, where he gains a burst of speed when obtaining rings. Now, again, as we discussed, rings do seem to affect speed to a degree, but not enough so to where it's significant. Otherwise, the rings would matter more in like the other games. But this does give him something to where he can do that. But again, he only has 6 slots, so it would just be a matter of, oh, what would Jet do in character? Which I can't determine what the hell he would choose. He'd probably just choose all the speed ups, if I'm being honest. I don't know.
Being fast is helpful.
It is, but like, I don't know what he would do.
Speaking of being fast is helpful, do you want to get into
Inventory
your
swap,
speed?
another lawsuit from Nintendo to Sega.
Gonna keep happening.
Apologies. Go ahead.
Speaking of speed, do you want to get into yours? I want to hear yours before I get into mine.
Okay, so, let's bring up the lad. Let me just make sure that I bring up the right one. So, okay, I guess we can bring up this one because it's technically stats, but it's also speed as far as for Jet alone.
Speed is a stat.
I meant like AP.
Oh.
So
And
the
hot dog
meteorites
is
is
a
referring to
sandwich.
the meteorites are referring to the arcs of the cosmos. So they are able to amplify gravity to the point that they form a black hole, and the black hole in question is formed here. Now this may not look like a black hole. and I will respect that. It is stated to be a black hole, so I don't know the argument for if it actually functions like a black hole, but ultimately I don't think that matters because
That big blue circle is the black hole, quote unquote.
in quotes, yes.
And does it just work like a big portal where they just go somewhere?
Yes, to here. This is the Mobius strip. Unless if I am misremembering. In this big dude, Master Core Abyss, evidently created multiple galaxy type deals and is able to move them to such a degree that it gets upwards of 1 trillion times the speed of light.
Huh.
And that is through his gravity manipulation alone. Because that is all he has is gravity manip.
Surprised I never heard of this feat before. Is this like are we sure he made we made this we don't have to invite him, it's alright. Did he make this or does he just exist in this world?
It would have had to have been created because it wasn't present at the time before the quote unquote black hole was created.
All right.
It would have had to have been created by the thing that of which he is powered by. And by the way, just in case we don't want to like say, oh, they can't be moving that fast. Okay, is this the correct one? Please be the correct one. The characters can move through the gravity fields that he makes with this amount of gravity manip. Like, they're completely fine with it. At this point in the story, they have no control over the gravity. So this guy would just be actively attacking them with this amount of gravity, and they're just able to go past it.
I want to ask what it says for Sonic speed scaling.
Because
Sonic blatantly says that he is much faster than the air gears. So
actually, okay, I'm gonna use that for higher arguments, but I'll get into it in higher arguments.
You don't even need higher arguments. So we can go to mine if you want.
My question is, does this track actually work like a Mobius strip, or is it just a figure eight that they're pretending?
It's just a figure eight. It's not an actual Mobius strip, to my knowledge.
Ooh, that would have been so cool.
That would have been cool.
It looks like a Mobius strip, but I don't think it's an actual Mobius strip.
It does
because it eventually
look
ends
like
as soon as you defeat Master Core Abyss.
Yeah.
But yeah, as far as speed goes, a couple trillion times the speed of light.
Master Core Abyss. This is I'm surprised this has never come up in all my years of Sonic scaling.
In all fairness, it's very insignificant in the grand scheme of things.
Who counted it? May I ask? Who counted that? Might I ask? Do you have
I could find who did it, but I remember seeing it, and they did like the distance stuff. And since it was a very short amount of time, and they're like galaxies apart, it's very fast.
So, nitrous oxide, comparing to attacks that the cards can dodge, crash characters, dodging certain things like lightning, certain light-based attacks. The highest calc he's gotten is 97% the speed of light. But that can be doubled with boost or the what is it called? The engine. So at the very least, he's like a past speed of light, right? Can somebody bring up? I think did I call it spaceship? Hold on, let me check real quick. I think I called it ship or something like that.
I think it was called spaceship. Let me look.
Oxide spaceship. Can you bring that up?
Hello, sir.
So this spaceship is something that is inside Oxide's arsenal. And much like you said about the crash scaling you just had, or the Sonic scaling you just had, this traveled in Crash 4 is about time. It traveled multiple galaxies in a very short period of time. Now, the problem with that is that we don't know how many galaxies away. We just know that it was multiple, and we don't know the exact time frame. We just know that it happened while the heroes were still chasing them. So we don't know the amount of time or exactly or the amount of galaxies. We just know it was a short period of time and a certain number of galaxies. I don't know how you would scale that, but Oxide was being manually piloting the ship while being threatened by both entropies. So the ship is capable. This ship specifically is capable of that amount of movement, and my brain is currently trying to function with all these noises I'm hearing. And he can pilot it, meaning that his reaction speed will also be equal to the speed of the ship. And on top of that, because Oxide's a dirty, cheating motherfucker, can you bring up enemies 1 and 2? I think I called them.
Enemies 1 and 2.
Oh boy.
Both of them?
Yep. They're kind of hard to see because I don't have a model viewer, but there's 3 types of enemies. That's the first one in the first picture. This is the second one. So there's 2 enemies in this that second. Well, I guess this first picture up there now. One of them is a saucer that shoots out energy. It's not light. And the other one is an enemy that shoots out some form of energy, also not light, but it disintegrates your body if it touches you. Mm-hmm. And then in the second picture, there's a guy who has an offensive stick that's like electrocutes things. He's immune to electricity himself, so hence why he's standing in the middle of it. And he can electrify floors, conductors, or the enemy themselves. I think if Oxide is losing in a like one-on-one race or a one-on-one fight, he would naturally try to cheat, get into the ship, send his enemies after Jet. Specifically, if this was a fight to the death, he would send his enemies after Jet, try to kill him.
Jump him, boys.
Essentially, sure, if you have that image.
What, the perfect cell one?
Yeah.
All right.
Essentially, try to jump him and use his spaceship to kill Jet.
Oh no.
That's a lot of guys. I mean, if we doesn't Jet also have an airship?
Yes, he does. That he does. It's not like interstellar travel or anything, but it's where he and the other Babylon rogues reside. And where he keeps
it's more like a get from type A to type B kind of place and chill.
Yeah.
I found the image.
Army 01.
Oh. I love this image.
This image is awesome.
If we ever do Bormod versus Cell, I'm going to find a place for this.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
So, I mean, if we give him all of his guys, would it be out of the question to also give Jet the other 2 birds whose names I don't remember?
Storm and
Wave and Storm. Come
Wave
on.
and Storm.
Yeah.
You call yourself a fucking Sonic fan.
Yeah, if he starts bringing in the ship, I'd argue that we bring in the other Babylon rogues. Because
not this ship specifically. If we bring in the enemies, I would bring
I'd argue rogues. If we're bringing in the quote unquote full army for Nitros, I'd argue we'd bring in the rest of the Babylon rogues for Jet.
I just also want to kind of make it clear that it literally only gives Oxide a numbers advantage. Jet probably would not be phased by any of them.
Very possibly. Again, if we were to do it, Jet could probably handle it on his own, low-key. But we could also make the debate of it would be fair to give him the other rogues. But I feel like that would fit more for a different thing. And Jet just blowing through a bunch of Nitros enemies is hella funny.
So we've established some level of speed for Nitros, which is potentially, we could say, like, at a bare minimum, he can go from one galaxy to another in a day.
It was less than a day. It was during a couple stages, but you play as multiple characters' perspectives, so it could be less time. So I'd say probably a few hours at most.
So okay, I could argue that mine is faster since the galaxies are moving as fast as they do, so they're crossing galaxies.
I gotta be honest, this whole Master Core Abyss feat seems sketchy to me.
Well, the fact that the galaxies weren't there before and they're actively spinning,
Wait, what do you mean they weren't there before?
they weren't there before. Like, you can't see them from the Earth, and they would have had to have been created within the quote-unquote black hole.
Don't you have to travel through the black hole to get there?
Yeah, I don't know if it's a portal or not, because it seems like as soon as you disperse it, it's just gone. And it's not like the characters like get set back or whatever. Like, it just kind of dissipates as soon as Abyss is destroyed.
Do you have any
that-
potential like lower feats that would like give some consistency? Because this just feels very like, I don't know. There's a lot of questions that
He said he was going to give higher end args, so
There are higher end args just via scaling the Sonic. But for
So
Jet
I-
alone, this is the highest he can get without scaling to Sonic.
So I want to point out, or at least ask, because Sonic has stated before that he's much faster than the air gears. That if he didn't have to use the air gears, that he would be running circles around Jet. So I want to know how exactly, because I'm not up to date with IDW or Sonic Cross Worlds or anything like that. So there could be something I just don't know.
The
I
world's fastest Hedgehog is even faster when he's riding extreme gear. Don't mind the rest of this. I had copied this from a different video.
Isn't that just in a guidebook? I guess if you want to use that.
So who was the one that said Sonic would be faster when he was off the board?
This guy
Sonic himself in the Sonic himself in the first game.
So we have
Sonic Riders.
we have contradictory information.
This is from Sonic Free Riders, mind you, because he has the glasses.
right. So this would have
wait.
been later.
Yeah.
Do we have any like kind of more direct evidence as opposed to just statements for which is faster?
Well, okay. So again, it's only statements because there's Sonic statement in the original Riders and then this one in Free Riders. Like, there's nothing to suggest which is faster, just due to what we see.
Let me ask what makes you feel faster. Doing a full blue flame run on Crash Team Racing Nitro Fueled, or you setting up the Connect and looking like a fucking idiot while trying to use the controls of Sonic Free Riders where they say he's this fast, all right?
Well,
Let me
if we're
ask
arguing game, okay, if we're arguing which game is better, then yeah, obviously I lose.
No, it's what makes you feel faster when you're like, ooh.
Yeah, no, again, if we're arguing that, again, I just lose. I can't argue that Free Riders is better than any of the Crash Team games.
So people keep, Sherm said this before, my Xbox randomly turns on and I don't know why. I heard it's something to do with it connecting to the internet or like getting fucked up because of the internet or something like that, but it just kind of turns on randomly.
Clive is actively turning on his copy of Sonic Cross Worlds to find a statement where it's proven that Sonic is.
I'll remove this.
I'm conflicted because we have contradictory information. I'm not sure.
Well, one is from earlier, so therefore,
Yeah,
the statement isn't contradicted. It is simply retconned. And maybe not even retconned. It's just that the technology got better.
so what would the even faster be past that?
I am so glad you asked. All right, everybody, time to go to Night Palace. I hope everyone is somewhat familiar with this. This is Sonic
All right.
the Events of Secret Rings, which would be before Free Riders, because it's before Zero Gravity. Free Riders came after. Welcome to the infinite space within the astral plane of, you know, the Night Palace.
All right.
Infinite speed.
Mhm. So let me ask you this. If this scaling works for Sonic at this time, then why in Metal Sonic vs. Cell did they say that he got speed stomped even after he got the emeralds when this is based
Because
on
they-
before?
Because they stated that there are infinite speed arguments for both, thus they were negated. It was explained in the black box.
They did. I did see that.
I'd also like to ask what the infinite speed feat here is, because
Crossing the infinite space.
But he doesn't cross the infinite space. He crosses a portion of the infinite space to get to the purple portal.
As magic carpet lands at the entrance, the crystal corridor ahead warps into an infinite space, and a strange purple mist descends in the middle of a destroyed fortress wall.
Yeah. It does establish where the destroyed fortress wall is. The destroyed fortress wall is just somewhere in front of Sonic within this infinite space.
Right, which is something that he passes through. That's what that little purple portal is. That's what the strange purple mist is. And as he's destroying these gates, he makes it to the end of the infinite space.
So he's not like transporting through the purple mist. It's like he just breaks through them and keeps going.
Yes.
Okay.
How are we feeling about AP?
I would bring back up Master Core Abyss with the fact that he created the multiple galaxies. As far as Jet alone, again.
I got Oxide at small island or island level.
Nice. Yeah, and again, through scaling to Sonic. Okay, okay. Sonic scaling is weird. We can all agree to that, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, within like zero gravity with the attack thing, all characters are able to attack each other, so you could make the argument for that. But there's also, hey, I get to bring back up the fans. Hold on, let's go and grab it.
The fans?
The fans.
Sonic fans?
No, the fans. That Jet has.
I'm a Sonic fan.
I am a Sonic fan as well, but that's not what I meant, is what I'm saying.
Yeah,
Yes, the fans. Where he's fighting Zik, and Zik is like, you know, just kind of taunting him, like the asshole that he is, while being amped by the Green Chaos Emerald, mind you. And you know, Jet has his little line of the Babylon. We're the Babylon rogues. We don't beg. We don't give up. And come on. And we don't lose. And
Well, that's just not true.
Well, yeah, he is obviously lying here, but it's a powerful statement at least. And he in essence off guards and quote unquote one shots him with an airburst from his fans.
I mean, was it off guard? He was like looking at him dead in the eyes, had a whole monologue, and then threw an attack at him.
That's the point. It off guards him while he's on guard.
I don't even think that's any guard is calculated. I think that's just he straight up did an attack that works.
Yeah, that's the point. Is that his airburst just kind of launched him off, and he's like very clearly affected by it, as shown in the second thing before Storm knocks him a new one, and Wave grabs the emerald.
Alphymation asked if that infinite space feat was from a non-Sega source.
It would have been through one of the guidebooks for Sonic and the Secret Ring, so it would have had to have been.
Was it an official or an unofficial guidebook?
Yeah, unofficial guidebooks exist.
Oh. I suppose I would have had to have double-checked that. I assumed it was an official source, given that I've seen it multiple times in arguments.
Yeah, these are Sonic fans. They don't read, bro. No, I'm kidding.
I just didn't double-check that because I've seen it consistently used for arguments, so I was like, oh, it has to be official, right?
I can concur. I have a Sonic hat. I don't know how to read.
I apologize for not double-checking if the thing I saw consistently used for arguments was not...
No matter how you argue it, Jet is probably going to be faster.
Right.
Well, I'm confused about how did Wave grab the Chaos Emerald with the wrench? Because she's nowhere near the twisty part of the wrench, so how could she tighten it down to grab the emerald?
Magic.
Reactions.
I guess that's just a cool wrench that can do that automatically, I guess.
These guys are fucking MFTL as fuck. She, in the middle of the panels, went and then caught it.
Yeah.
I like the idea that it's a cool wrench that just does it, though. I like that, though.
I do like the idea that it's an automatic wrench. She would totally be the one to have something like that, too.
The wrench has an artificial intelligence inside of it that unscrews and screws in things.
But yeah, anyways, Lost World, Sonic, you know, quote unquote struggles to beat Zik. or at the very least, it seems like an even fight. Here, Jet just kind of one-shots him while he's amped.
Zik scaling is pretty solid. That's a pretty solid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't cast too much doubt on this one. This is pretty blatant.
Yep. But yeah, and then there's all sorts of statements I could make, especially with speed because of classic in Generations with the time eater, and I quote, "Flying to the end of time."
I'm sorry. You said there's so
Well,
many
that's
statements I could make,
supersonic.
and I'm gonna be like, yes, and I sourced none of them.
Yeah, no. I have a
I'm kidding,
source.
I'm
Give me a
kidding.
second.
I just came up with a totally raw debate argument in my head, but I'm not gonna tell it to you. You don't deserve that.
Yeah, no,
So
I'm just saying
Oxide,
I don't want to stomp any harder than I have because we have like Jet is faster because he scales to someone who is moving galaxies and shit, or at worst is infinitely fast.
Well, you're bringing up like feats that we're uncertain of, and like supersonic feats. Like, where's like base sonic scale that would put him above FTL and island level?
Well, there's the thing with Chaos, who is amped by the Emeralds, and the Emeralds are uni. But you could argue that Chaos is only planetary. Classic Sonic seemed to have significantly helped in the Time Eater boss fight, and Time Eater is a multiversal for that.
With supersonic. With his supersonic form.
Right, which modern Sonic is able to scale to Adventure Supersonic, who would have been stronger than Classic Supersonic.
The reason I'm not to completely throw away all air of like nuance and non-biasness, but the reason I'm hitting you so hard for this is because there's so many arguments you can make for Sonic that are easy and totally believable, and you're picking all the ones that people have problems with.
I didn't realize these are the ones that people have problems with.
At the very least, for Jet the Hawk scaling, this is like ones that people would raise an eyebrow
base
at.
Sonic is able to contend with Emerald, and Emerald was able to eviscerate or absorb the energy from something that is able to eviscerate multiple star clusters.
All right, cool.
So multi-galaxy, because, or at least multi-solar system.
All right. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to like hit you so hard for no reason, but I was just
it's all good. And then there, okay,
you're making.
Do we accept white space? Okay, we probably don't accept white space. Let's be honest here.
What's the white space?
There's multiple statement. So white space is mostly a speed thing because it is a space with no time and no space. And there's corroboration from Ian Flynn, but I'm not using that because his is just his interpretation of the story, even if he is the writer. Like, it's just how he interprets it. But there's also just a statement from Tails in both the rewrite and the original, where in the original it's when the Sonic accelerate through time, they fix space, returning color and life. They accelerate through time. This also applies to Classic. Yada, yada, yada. There's upscaling from that. And then there's the rewritten one, which is the Sonics are the one constant here. Their speed is restoring space-time, meaning that their speed would be beyond it because they're restoring it.
I have my own thoughts, but that's an interesting, that's a fair take.
All right, sure.
What's up?
I'm sending you some stuff real quick.
Oh no, I have a bad feeling about this.
So bring up this first one's kind of funny. So I'll have to wait for you to download it. We're reaching the hour and a half point, so I do want to wrap up soon. But I just thought of this right now, and I thought it was funny.
So I'm still in the perfect cell folder. 1 second. Let me.
I am not ready for this, but I am so ready for this.
I can just remember some perfect cell feats if you'd like. That would.
I don't think Perfect Cell would help anyone besides technically me because of metal.
The death metal's not canon to Sonic.
The death metal is not canon. I know, but that's the point.
So okay, you brought up this one first. That's fine. So in Crash Bandicoot on the Run, I don't know how many people have actually heard about this.
Oh my!
It is a game based on Crash's multiverse. So a lot of characters show up, including Nitros Oxide. Nitros Oxide shows up on 2 separate occasions, and you see the other Oxides around him. to race all of the multiverse, racing through multiverses as well. And you have to beat them to get their skins, yada yada. It's an app game, so whatever. So these guys have the ability to go to race through entire universes, multiverses, in terms of possible speed scaling. And then can you bring up the last image, the second image I sent you?
Wasn't expecting this, but this is much appreciated.
Let them be known that I am the greatest racer in this galaxy. If we do a crossover, this statement has to be true, meaning they're from the same galaxy, meaning that Oxide is a better racer than Jet the Hog.
They are not in the same universe. They're not even in the same multiversal construct. That is a hilarious statement to make, but I love the idea of like he makes this statement and then Jet pulls his I'm the fastest thing in the universe.
I don't know,
Bro.
Lockdown. This is a pretty solid argument.
I pretty much gave it all my arguments, so
I think I have too. Like again, I can bring up Sonic's racing to the end of time if we want corroboration on that, and I can bring up White Space having no time.
good thing you have no time to bring up white space. Put the
That's
poll up. No, I'm kidding.
Put the poll up. We don't care. I can bring it up. Do we want me to bring it up, or do we? Or are we cool? Because I can bring it up. The statements of White Space having zero time. Because I can.
I mean,
We don't really need it.
Yeah.
Let's
Okay.
be real.
Okay.
you want me to
Sounds
throw
good.
the poll up as we get into our final arguments?
Yeah.
Sounds good.
All right, Lockdown, you go first. What's your final argument?
So I'd argue, despite the fact that Jet has a wider but less strong arsenal, he evidently takes speed potentially. It could be somewhat even, but calced and seem to be higher for Jet. I'd argue he could take strength, since at worst he scales to someone who can take out multiple solar systems, and with his own feats is able to defeat someone who created and is able to move around multiple galaxies. And then beyond that, he can just smack people who can handle universal attacks with a fan, and it seems to hurt him. So I don't know what you're gonna do about that. Universal win, go Burr.
So Oxide's best chance is Jump 'em Gang. We got other universe versions of him. We got other minions. Their weapons Duraneg and just disintegrate objects and things, including the Nitros, which he has abundantly. He can spam items and objects like that. He has a giant spaceship which can shoot lasers and shit like that. He has a lot more options in combat. And with on the run, you can potentially get him racing in a universal to multiversal scale in short periods of time.
So I just want to throw out, I did some quick math for how long it would take to go between a galaxy and a day. If we assume we did it in a whole day, that would be 365 million times the speed of light. If we did say he did it in an hour, then that would be 8 billion times the speed, 9 billion times the speed of light, actually.
So
Nitrous?
still,
Yeah, if he was traveling between galaxies in that time.
Yeah, we know it's at least more than one because they say the term galaxies in the
Yeah.
game.
This is like a low ball. A very big
Yeah.
low ball is anywhere from 300 million to 9 billion FTL.
which is still a little slower than the calc speed for the moving of the galaxies, but you know, we'll just leave it at that.
All right.
I have
You
to
too.
admit, I enjoyed this. This was fun. There's just a lot of items on my end that had a lot of
Yeah.
scans for them. Just because
Yeah.
I was like, I realized that I couldn't just bring up all the items because I was like, oh, the warp ring is only limited to this kit. Whoops. Then with the double boost, which I thought was weird.
Really?
Like you can only
That's
double
weird.
boost if you pre-equip a boost and grab another one. The triple boost you could just grab naturally. It's just rare.
Weird.
I just want to say, guys, if you vote for me, It's a vote for Crystal as well.
Oh, the cat votes.
I'm being
probably-
bribed.
Yeah.
I probably would have done better if literally all 13 viewers hadn't already voted.
Maybe it'll switch.
Who is asking? Oh, maybe this was from a while ago. What did they mean? Didn't this source from a non-Sega source?
No, that's
In
what I
regards
brought
to
up
the secret
when
ring?
the secret ring thing. I brought that up to you
Okay.
earlier. We talked about it.
Yeah, again, it's just something that I've seen commonly, so it was an assumption thing, so that is on me. But the statements of the space-time thing is in-game.
Okay.
We'll start with Kai. What you got?
So I definitely think that I think Oxide has a better arsenal, especially just because of how easily spammable it just is at like a base because he cheats. And I do think that the cheating will help initially kind of get under Jet's skin, or I guess under his feathers.
Birds have skin, I think.
I know I was being stupid. But it would get under his skin, and I think could give him a little bit of an early advantage. But I don't think it's gonna last. Jet just seems faster, either by like a large amount or a small amount, but it's still faster, stronger, and I don't see how outside of that initial little bit at the beginning of him having the advantage, I don't think I can see Oxide finishing the fight. So I'm gonna lock in Jet.
Is it too late to say that Nitrous Oxide conquered every other planet in the Milky Way galaxy?
Not too late, but it doesn't change my vote. That is cool as hell, though.
How many planets are in the Milky Way galaxy?
At least 7.
And he did it all in 1 hour. Trust me.
I'm not wrong. It is technically at least.
Well, that's only crossing a galaxy, but yeah, conquering the Milky Way is pretty cool. Maybe not significant, but it is.
There's
pretty
over 1 trillion planets in the galaxy.
Holy.
Well, hey, that's pretty cool.
So that would be that's a speed feat for sure.
I don't know how you-
We already discussed crossing. Oh, I guess crossing galaxy is different.
Yes. In an hour. No, it's not. Okay, thank you. I don't know how much of that
Cameo
was picked up.
appearance.
Probably all of it.
A little bit.
I don't know how I feel about all the specific Sonic scaling you brought up, but it doesn't matter what you give him. I think at the end of the day, Crash can beat Nitrous Oxide, and Jet just seems like he'd be a better Crash in this scenario. So my vote goes to Jet as well.
All right.
And ending the poll,
Sorry, Brian.
yeah, that's a sweep for Jet, unfortunately. Although 36% did vote for Nitrous.
Hell yeah.
How many votes overall for Nitrous?
like,
what,
okay.
36% of 14.
Give me
so
one
3.
moment. Oh, would it be 30?
I think so.
All right.
Probably. Let me look.
So, Blimp, you advertise your show while I look up all the next casts.
Oh, it's about 5, actually.
Ow.
Hey, 5 people agree with me. Woo! I did my
Yeah.
job. Yeah,
You did
Oxide
it.
gets fucked, dude. He's destroyed. When I got on the call with Sherm, I was like, I am gonna try my fucking best. Hello, I am Plymph. I run a channel called Nebula Theater, where we are currently working on getting an episode 2 out either the end of this month or beginning of next month. It is like Death Battle, except a little bit of a twist towards our kind of style, like not requiring a death and stuff like that. We do a Nebula Theater cast, which is a podcast that we talk about a lot of different matchups that people on the Nebula Theater Discord suggest to us following a theme. Like we have a Nintendo theme and an Ice Space theme going on right now. Yeah, it's pretty chill. There's going to be new stuff soon. We did Kara versus X. Do you hate the matchup? Maybe you won't hate my video.
Is there any way people have that they can join some kind of program so that they can influence stuff that happens on the show to some degree?
Oh, that's what you want me to do? We just started a membership program for people to help support the show because making it is very, very expensive. There's a reason Death Battle spends like $20K per episode, and I found that out pretty quickly. So there's ways to support if you want to see like behind the scenes stuff, do some pitching or there. I can't remember the entire tiers off the top of my head. I wasn't sure. I didn't know I was going to be fucking Q&A on this right now. But there's if you go to my channel, you can see what kind of stuff you can find membership wise. And it makes sure that Sherm can get paid by me.
Yes.
Boo.
Yay!
Sherm was a researcher on Kara X. He did the Undertale side of things. And
All
he will be
true.
there in the future.
I'm researching multiple things right now. Some that you know and some that you don't know. Upcoming casts tomorrow. We have a very fun cast of Rexy the T-Rex from Jurassic Park versus Bruce the Shark from Jaws.
Yeah.
Happening
Oh my.
tomorrow at 1 p.m. EST. I will be back for that one. And then on Tuesday, March 24th, we have the second part, the finale of Naruto versus Luffy, which they will really they will finish and they will come to a conclusion on who wins. Well, actually, they won't. You guys will come to a conclusion based on
Where's
what they
part
say.
one?
It happened about a week ago. It was.
Oh, okay.
split. It should just be in the live section.
Yeah.
But also, on the 27th, we will be doing Subaru versus Kazuma at 3 p.m. EST. If there's any reason we're doing Subaru versus Kazuma on March and soonish.
March 27th, yes, because the next Nebula Theater is Subaru versus Kazuma. Debated by Strange Fate and somebody that I saw the Nebula Theater named Soup. I think that's his name.
Yeah.
And if everything goes right, we will have a preview of the episode to show during that cast as well.
Ooh.
Join the Nebula Theater server. We might think you're cool and invite you to stuff. And on April 7th, we will be doing Nico D'Angelo versus Nightcrawler. So we've got a good, fun amount of cast coming up. With all that said, some of us have to go places and have things to do, so we'll call it a stream. Thanks for watching, everyone. We'll catch you later.
Peace.
Thank
Bye.
you all for
This was fun.
stopping by.